Welcome to the Voice of Reason Sports Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the show, leave a comment, and click that like button. Yo, Dale, what's good, man?
What up? What up?
Man, what a busy 2 days of this NFL free agency kickoff, man.
Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Madness. Everybody going everywhere. None of you gonna recognize the team. You gotta learn new teams all over.
Right. But I got to start here, man, because I know it's big news in New Orleans, and I can't understand why. I just don't understand this, man. But our backup quarterback, who defied the head coach, is off to the Cleveland Browns now, and everybody's upset about this. I just don't understand it, man.
They're upset that he's leaving, like because they want him.
They want him.
I think he shouldn't be in the league no more.
No, they want him. They really like Jameis Winston in New Orleans. And I give it to him. He got there. He embodied the culture there. You know, this dude was out like Mardi Gras parades. He out there catching beads with his kids. He is into the culture and the people there. And, you know, he was a part of it. They interviewing him. They love him. And I'm like, I love him too. Great guy. You know, great husband, great person. But do I want him as my quarterback? No. Not of my football team.
That mean you're a good quarterback.
That doesn't mean you're a good quarterback. Exactly.
Don't mean you won't have 25 interceptions.
Right. Does he win games for me is my question. You know, on the field. Great guy off the field.
Yeah, two different things.
Two different things. Family man. Love him. But, you know, it just kind of reminds me of that Cat Williams line that he said, this unnatural allegiance to losers. And that's not you. And you know, you have an unnatural allegiance to losers. And that's not you, Saints fans.
Yeah. I don't get why. I mean, I get it, like you said, they might like him personally or whatever. But come on. Y'all see what he did when he came on the field.
Right.
I mean, come on.
And like I told you, after the last game of the season when he defied the head coach, somebody got to go.
That was crazy, especially when he tried to explain it after the game, like he was okay, like that was right. I couldn't believe he even tried to explain it. He should, man, you know what? That was bad. My bad.
No, right.
You know, I got caught up in the moment, and you know, I got caught up in money. My man wanted this touchdown,
right?
So we got to be, you know, something like that. But don't sit there and act like we had a discussion that it was a team decision or something like that. When the coach clearly said, "Don't do it,"
right?
And he is the team. I mean, come on.
Right. He is the team. And look, I get it. If it was Drew Brees out there that waved off Sean Payton, nah, we going for it. Or Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers defying the head coach, which they do often.
Yeah, it happens.
Or hell, if it was the starting quarterback, if it was Derek Carr out there, he said, nah, Dennis, we're going for this. I get it. But not the backup quarterback.
Yeah. Who's only out there to you know, close the game out.
Yes.
Not even out there to score.
Right. His job was to take the knee.
Close the game out.
Yeah, to close the game out. So yes. So you know, I think this part of Saints history is now over. We can move on from this nonsense. Hopefully things get better in the locker room, because I had serious concerns about the health of the Saints locker room. I felt there was a lot of nonsense on the team and a lot. I mean, we saw it. It was on full display at the end of that game against the Falcons. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So, but other than that, I mean, not much from the Saints. DeMario Davis got a contract extension, so that keeps him around. I'm a little concerned about that. He's like in his mid-30s now, playing middle linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oof. I don't know how much longer he got, but yeah. So that's all for the Saints. I mean, I saw your boy Tony Pollard sign with the Titans, right?
Yeah, he went to the Titans. You know, I'm just getting sick of the Cowboys thinking whatever they don't need to do anything. You know, this is what been their posture for like the last 2 years. You're letting people go, not bringing people in like you should. I mean, don't get me wrong. You did bring in Gilmore, right?
Right.
He played good. He played good. But you got to have more than one guy. You're not that close. You're not close to just you bring one guy and that's it. You know,
Can
you
they
should have
bring in
been in the
more?
running. You should at least had Henry in your camp. He should have been. He should have been there for a visit or something.
That's
You
true.
know, don't let him go to nobody else. Well, you know you need to run it back, and you
Yeah.
can get him for rather cheap.
Yeah, or at least go for Josh Jacobs or somebody.
Yeah, something.
Yeah,
You about
yeah,
to lose Tony Pollard. You obviously say you're gonna let him go,
yeah.
right?
Because Henry cost the Ravens $8 million a year. He got a 2-year deal for $16 million.
Exactly.
That's
We were
nothing.
paying Tony Pollard $10 million. We
Yeah,
paid him $10 million last year.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Bring him in. Bring Henry in. 2 years for $2 million cheaper per year than Pollard.
Yeah,
I would take that.
yeah. That's
I would
crazy.
take that. You know what I'm saying?
There's a
So
lot of good running backs out there that signed, manageable deals. DeAndre Swift got a 3-year, $24 million.
yeah.
That's $8 million a year.
Where did DeAndre Swift go?
He went to the Bears.
Went to the Bears.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and then I saw that Saquon Barkley,
Mm-hmm.
he went to Philadelphia, correct?
Yep. But he got a decent deal. 3 years, 37.5 million.
Okay. All right. So at least he's making more than he was with the Giants.
Exactly.
But just like I say with the Ravens, receivers go there to die. Running backs usually go to Philadelphia to die.
You think so?
Don't nobody thrive in Philadelphia. No running backs really thrive in Philadelphia, especially with this tush push thing they got going.
Well, that too. Yeah.
I
I thought Miles Sanders played well when he was there. You don't think so?
That's why he's not there anymore.
No, that's true. Well, he is a running back.
He's a running back. He's a running back. He was so sometimey. He had a big game. He run for 182 yards, and next week he run for 17.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because like we talked about before, running backs are so devalued. Like you have a great year, and you're gone the next. Like Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs led the league in rushing.
Yes.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah. And now he's off to the Packers. That's insane. Yeah. And Eckler, he's now a Commander.
Right. That's another place the running backs go to die.
Yeah, that is true.
Look, I will say this for the Commanders. They got a whole new organization. I am a little bit afraid of what the new organization can do because Snyder, I love Snyder while he was there. He kept them down.
You sound like me. Right. You love when they got bad people there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, keep him there as long as he wants to.
Right.
As he want to be, But now they got a whole new organization and now things are going to be done different. So we're going to see because they got a whole lot of building to do there, but they're not going to be building the old way that they were doing. So that's going to be interesting to see what happened in the division.
Yeah. Well, you got some time till they figure it out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. And then, like I said, meanwhile, that leaves a big hole in the Dallas backfield.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know who we're going to have back there. There's nobody currently on the roster that I say that's going to be the starter. It could be the starter. Do I doubt him? You know what I'm saying? There's nobody on the roster right now.
Does that mean you're going to draft somebody?
Who knows what the Cowboys are going to do? I'm telling you, I don't like that. Okay, so this past draft, we got zero production from first pick all the way to 7th round. Zero production. No, when I say zero, I'm exaggerating. It wasn't zero, but let's say if we were put on a percentage scale, we got 3% production out of 100 from our whole entire draft.
The whole draft class? Who was your first round draft pick?
The first round draft pick last year, it was Mozzie Smith from Michigan. Okay, do you remember hearing his name?
No, I do not. I don't even know what position he plays.
He plays defensive tackle. He was like one of the top defensive tackles supposedly in the draft last year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he got washed and he hardly played. You know, I think it took him 4 or 5 games to get his first tackle. No, I'm not playing. He's like, it's like, and it wasn't just because he was out there all the time, but
Yeah, yeah.
he wasn't playing. They weren't playing him, you know, and that's because when he did play, he was not doing what he was brought in to be. He was brought in to be the beef in the middle and to clog the middle up,
Mm-hmm.
and he just couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it. Not
Yeah.
consistently. Let me say
Right,
that.
right, right, right.
And not consistently, you know.
Yeah.
So it's once again, I'm sitting here unamazed by what the Cowboys are doing. They did this when we did last year in free agency when free agent trade deadline was coming. We did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Did nothing, and we're doing it again. We did it in the draft last year. We brought all these players in, did not use them. The tight end, we didn't use anybody. None of those players started from the
Mm-hmm.
last year's draft. Not one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I know
20.
for my team we're hamstrung, right? As far as the salary cap, so we couldn't make any moves. I mean, what's the Cowboys' issue? Is it because of salaries too? Is it because of salary cap?
It's not salary cap. It's not salary cap. It's just the Cowboys thinking they're better off than they are. That's what it is. It really is. You know, they want to kind of find excuses for these last 3 years. You know, when you get to the playoffs and you get beat by a team that quote unquote you're not supposed to get beat by. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
happening. I'm not gonna say that happened last year with San Francisco, but it definitely happened the year before that when Jimmy Garoppolo was there. They came in as the underdog to Dallas and beat them,
I remember
when they were
that.
the underdog. And it happened again this past year when we played the Packers.
Yep, yep,
You know,
yep.
you can't, and especially the way you got beat.
Right.
27-0 at halftime before you scored with 2 seconds left on the clock.
It was
At
ugly.
half. That is not good. That's terrible. Not especially to that Packers team.
Mm-hmm.
Who did improve as the season went on. Like they were a better team the last 8 than they were in the beginning of 8. But there's absolutely no excuse for you to get your butt beat like that at home to the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Mm-hmm.
it's just none. It's inexcusable.
Well, I, we'll see. I mean, I think your division kind of pretty much is the same. I think Saquon Barkley adds a little fire to the Eagles, but
Yeah, stuff like shifted around and moved
yeah,
around.
yeah, it just shifted around. It's pretty much the same people, but I know for the Saints and the NFC South, I'm a little concerned. And Kirk Cousins going to the Falcons, and I told people this before. I felt like the Falcons are loaded. They just need competent quarterback. And the fact that they didn't have that for the past couple of years, and Matt Ryan was on his last leg, I was happy about it. It was like, well, I got no worry about for the Falcons. They don't have a quarterback. They can have, Drake London. They can have Kyle Pitts. They can bring in Bijan Robinson to go along with the back that they had before. But the quarterback that they got, not going to be able to beat anybody. And so now they got Kirk Cousins. I know he's coming off an Achilles injury, but I don't think it matters. I mean, he doesn't use his legs. So
I mean, it's still there. It's still an issue. You still got to trust it. It's gonna take a while to fully trust it and stuff like
right.
that. But I think the Falcons have a lot more holes than just at quarterback, though. Their defense was pretty porous. People could pretty much move the ball on them at will.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you said, you mentioned Drake London. After him, I don't even know their receivers.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody of note
Mm-hmm.
after that.
Right.
It's kind of like the Cowboys receivers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We don't really have anybody behind CeeDee Lamb as much, especially now. Gallup trying to get a trade to get up out of there.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's trying to get a trade, but he should because he's not really doing anything. We're not doing anything. He's getting like 25 catches now. I mean, what are we doing with that? Especially with the
Right.
money.
Yeah, he was supposed to have a bigger role, but and I saw a couple of franchises that happened. T. Higgins was franchised. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got
Yeah.
franchised, and
He decided to be
Antoine.
though,
Yeah, and Antoine Winfield got franchised too with the Bucks.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I wonder how much does he get as a franchise safety? Safety.
17 million.
Wow.
Yep.
That's the average of the top five?
Apparently so.
Wow.
One
I
year,
did not know the
17
safeties was
million.
making that. I
Yeah,
did not know the safeties was making that much in the NFL.
yeah. And T. Higgins is getting 21 million. He's a
Wow.
receiver. And then Josh Allen, the defensive end for the Jags, he's franchised. So he's got 24 million. 1 year, 24 million.
Mm,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. So yeah, man, a lot of moves, a lot of things happening. The league is kind of, like you say, it's kind of been, they just flipped the board over, shook it around, and we got players scattered all over the place, going to different places. I think, I think
Yeah.
the, I think the most interesting one to see is Lamar Jackson, and Derrick Henry in the same backfield.
Yeah.
That's
That should be scary for the rest of the division.
yes,
Because I watched some of Derrick Henry games this year, and he does not look like he still got something in the tank.
I think so too. Not as much, not as much. I don't think he's an every down back anymore. But
Yeah, I
but
mean, when you got others that kind of take away from, because he was the main focus
right,
there, especially when they don't have a quarterback, so people
right,
know he's gonna run, so they can load up the box and know they can concentrate on him.
right,
The Ravens, I don't know so much. You can't really concentrate on him so much because you got Jackson out back there too.
right,
You know, running
right,
off, taking off, and if he give you that little, read option to the middle, and you overcommit, Jackson gone around the end for 10, 15 yards.
right. Exactly. And that's the thing. Teams are gonna have to overcommit for Henry, right?
Yeah,
If he's still got any juice in that tank,
yeah, teams are in trouble. That's for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, that is for sure. So I'm really intrigued by that. I want to see how that's going to work out. How this offensive coordinator is going to make that work with Lamar Jackson, and like you said, with the receivers that go there to die. Whether or not
Right,
they're going to
right.
get there, because receivers get frustrated. They don't get those
Absolutely,
opportunities. So
absolutely. And I wonder, uh, who are they going to get rid of? Because they had a whole lot of running backs
they
back there.
did, they did, they did.
You know, I
Yeah,
mean, Gus Edwards, Justice Hill, that new guy Mitchell. I mean, of course, I'm not even gonna count. What's the guy they had they brought back? Melvin Gordon. I'm not even
Oh, yeah.
counting.
Oh, no, I'm just about
I'm
he's
not
done.
counting him at all.
I was thinking of the young running back that they had that they got out
Yeah,
of.
Mitchell.
No, it wasn't Mitchell. Is it what? Okay.
Yeah, the one that was making all the big plays for him.
No, I'm thinking about the one that's always injured every year that they were looking. It was a young back. They drafted him like maybe 3 years ago. I
Mm.
can't think of his name right now, but yeah, I mean, dude is always injured. I think they were really counting on
Oh
him.
yeah, J.K. Dobbins. That's what you're
J.K.
talking about.
Dobbins. Yes,
J.K. Dobbins. That's
yes,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, I
Dobbins.
forgot all about him. Yeah, man.
Dude is hurt every year. He's always suffering
He
some type
did.
of major injury. And I think if he was around, if he didn't have suffer all those injuries, things could have been different for him.
I
The rate,
agree.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
okay,
Absolutely.
all right.
Absolutely.
You ready to move on to basketball?
Yeah, man. Let's talk a little b-ball.
Yeah, yes, sir. Well, man, let's talk about them Pelicans, man. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, yes, sir. It's finally all coming together. Willie Green is finally figuring this stuff out. Zion is finally playing. Not that many injuries. I don't think he's doing back to backs, and that's cool. I'm good with that. We got to keep our superstar healthy and get
Right.
ready for the playoffs. Right now, the Pelicans are like, I believe fifth. Yeah, fifth in the Western Conference. 39 wins, 25 losses. So they're creeping up on the Clippers and the Timberwolves. So good position, great position for the Pelicans. So I like I told you before, being in the play-in game, no, that ain't gonna cut it. No play-in games, Pelicans. You got too much daggone talent on this team to be in some damn play-in game. No, you need to be in the playoffs. All right, that play-in
Yep.
crap doesn't count.
Yep.
So Willie Green, got to get these kids right because you got too much good talent, a deep bench. You got two superstars, up and coming superstars in Zion and Ingram. So Brandon Ingram. So and then you got CJ McCollum. So it's a right mix of young up and coming talent and a great veteran in CJ McCollum.
Right. Then you got a big man in the middle. You know
then you got a big man in the middle. Veteran. A veteran big man in the middle that knows how to play down there. And
exactly.
And
don't be hanging out by the 3-point line.
Don't be hanging out at the 3-point line. You're absolutely right. No, it's true. It's true. And Zion doesn't hang out at the 3-point line.
Right.
He's totally an inside player, and he's got a lot of inside moves. So you got a good variety of players. So you got to do it now. You got to start winning with this crew now because eventually some are going to have to leave because not all of them are going to be able to get paid. And Zion and Brandon Ingram is going to take all your money, and CJ is going to get old. So, Willie, figure it out. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I like what's going on in this NBA season, man.
Yeah, man. It's turning out to be pretty decent. For me personally, the sports betting aspect of it has been more entertaining.
Yep.
Because now the sports betting is so much more, it's so much more widespread. Now you can have a little action on a game.
Yeah.
Now you can put a little, and you can put there's such a variety of things that you can put it on. I mean, you can put it on first basket, who makes the first basket.
Right.
It's going to be 2 3-pointer shot and made in the first 2 minutes, like stuff like that. The first shot, is it going to be a dunk? I mean, you have so many, it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different things that you could predict in the game and actually have a little cash on it. So it kind of changes.
Right. The dynamics
aspect of how you watching the game.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. I mean, with that in mind, right? I mean, this is fairly new sports betting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do you feel about this, man? I mean, does it affect how the players play, right? As this thing starts to expand, do you see players like doing illegal betting, right?
Well, think about it, right? We already had NFL players in trouble.
Recently, yes.
For betting on sport. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's only a matter of time. I mean, we're talking about from all the way back when what's the baseball player that got banned for betting?
Oh yeah, you're talking about
and he wouldn't admit it until recently, like not recently, but like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm blanking on his name. Played for the Cincinnati Reds.
Yes, played for the Cincinnati. I don't know why I can't think of his name. He's a famous dude, famous baseball player.
Yeah,
but he was betting on sports all the way back then.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, and I don't know how the sports teams are actually getting in bed with the apps and stuff like that. Like if you go to games, you'll see FanDuel advertisements. You'll see DraftKings advertisements. You'll see the commercials during the game. They're buying commercials. You'll see them playing, advertising, betting during the game.
Yeah. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. The NBA might put a team in Vegas at some point.
Yeah, I mean, there's an NFL team there right
exactly.
now.
Yep.
So why not? But the whole thing is, of course, there's already stuff talking about people talking about games of rigged.
Right.
The NFL wants this team to win.
Oh, they got a script.
Yeah, they got a script. They got a script for the NFL. So the NFL knows exactly what's going to happen.
Right.
And I will say this, and I'll send you the video on it. Now, there are referees who said that when the NBA wants to, they'll tell you what plays to call. They'll tell you.
Oh yeah, they'll stress which they don't want to stretch. Like they want to focus on carries. They want to focus on pawning. They want to traveling. Yeah, they'll do that.
Yep. And of course, depending on what you're focusing on, can affect certain players, and then can affect certain teams.
Yep. And sometimes the coaches have a hand in it. Like Like I remember. Oh, by the way, the Cincinnati Reds player was Pete Rose.
Pete
But
Rose.
yeah, yeah,
I forget that, man.
yeah.
Pete Rose.
I know,
Right.
right? Probably the most famous Cincinnati Red. But
Right.
like Phil Jackson used to do this. This was like a thing that they used to do during the playoffs. Like they'll lose a game, a playoff game, they'll get blown out, and then they'll chastise the referees during the press conference. And you
Right.
notice how the refs, check the next game. Like if he complained about Shaq getting fouled too much when
Right.
when he was coaching the Lakers, next thing you know, the fouls are being called the next game.
Yep.
So
Yep.
no, I know what you're talking about, and I think that would be even more of an issue for betting. You know what I'm saying? Because that affects the game, how the officials call the game.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, we've heard of all the betting scandals, this
Mm-hmm.
happened in college football and professional football. We had referees involved in betting and trying to change the game
Mm-hmm.
based on their personal benefit for their personal benefit.
Yeah.
We've seen that happen. That's documented fact.
I mean, we
So
just recently had it with Calvin Ridley. Remember Calvin Ridley when he was with the
oh
Falcons? He was
yeah,
suspended for a
Calvin
season.
Ridley. That's
Yeah,
right. I forgot
yeah,
all about that.
yeah.
Right.
He bet on the game.
Yep.
He,
Yep.
he
Right.
he claimed it wasn't the game for the Falcons that he was playing at.
Right.
So you got a lot of that going on.
Yeah, man. But it's so widespread now. I don't know how some people are not going to be accused,
Yeah,
when they
yeah,
have a bad game, quote unquote, or unexplainable, an unexplainable miss,
right.
or remember when remember when the Rams coach kicked that field goal and that was a big controversy? Like, why are you kicking the field goal when you know that's not gonna win you the game?
Oh, okay, yeah.
You
I've
remember
seen a
that?
lot of teams do that. Yeah,
Yeah,
when they
it
get
was like
blown out.
3 seconds left in the game,
Yeah,
and they were down 7
right, and they
or
just kick the
something
field
like
goal.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, he kicked
I've
the
I've
field goal.
I've seen teams where they're getting shut out, and instead of going for the touchdown, because they'll kick the field goal, so it wouldn't be a shutout.
Right. I mean, I get that to a degree. You
I
don't
don't
want to see
get
the
that.
guy
It's like go
shut
for the
out.
touchdown, man.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like you're losing the game. The touchdown probably not going to win it for you.
Right.
So at least I don't want to say we got goose eggs. You know what I'm saying?
I
It's
guess.
demoralizing. So I I kind of get that to an extent, them not
Okay. All right.
want to
All
have the
right.
goose egg.
All right.
But especially like I said, if 7 points is not going to win it for you, and
Right.
it's fourth down, it's fourth and long.
Right. Right.
Very improbable you're gonna get this touchdown. You ain't got one all game.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, that is kind of shady. But I
yeah,
guess, for the NBA, NFL, even NHL, because NHL
yeah.
has a
NHL,
team
they
that
got betting on NHL too.
they
Yep,
got
you can bet
a
on
team
shots
there.
on goal.
So I mean, I guess it's worth the risk. I mean, considering all of the money that's involved with gambling, some of the biggest companies in this country are gaming gambling companies.
Yeah, man.
So
I mean, we're talking about in probably the next 4 or 5 years, it being close to $1 trillion business.
yes,
You
yes,
know? I mean, it's
yeah,
already a half a trillion. It's
yeah,
already up to 500 million.
yeah, yeah,
And sports bets being done across all the platforms.
yeah.
There's already 500 million in betting going on right
Five
now.
hundred billion.
Yes, 500 billion,
You would have
billion
yeah, with a B.
with
Yeah,
a B. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even legal in all the states yet.
that's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's going to have an effect clearly on the game. You hear everybody talking about parlays now. You know,
Mhm. Right.
you, you see these little Instagram reels and stuff like that when people got jokes about the parlays, and you got the last leg of the parlay, and for
Uh-huh.
some reason LeBron hurt his ankle in the first quarter.
That,
Yeah, man. So
see, so that's the whole thing about it. For me, it's just like, you don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying in these games. Like you say, LeBron could hurt his ankle. Pat Mahomes could get hurt, or
absolutely. Absolutely. It happens. It
It
definitely
happens.
happens.
It
No
happens all
doubt.
the time. Yeah.
It, it
So
it's unpredictable, but you know what? I equate it to, you know, investing in any business,
yep. Yep.
you know,
Unpredictable. Up and down.
unpredictable. You don't know if Enron is going to go belly up tomorrow.
Yep. Yep. It's a risk.
You
It's a
don't
risk
know
in
if
everything.
WorldCom, right? You don't know if WorldCom is going to die next week.
Well,
You know?
also it's like buying property. You don't know
Yeah,
if there's a major issue with this property that you have that
yeah,
you gotta invest more money in, that you're gonna
yeah.
lose value. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
Developers are shady, man. If they see a problem that's going to cost them millions, they'll hide it.
yep, they sure will.
They'll hide it, and they'll just go ahead and save the property. Say, okay, he won't know for about at least about 6, 7 years.
Yeah, yeah, we'll be
You
long
know,
gone by then.
we be long gone. You know what I'm saying? We'd have handed over the association to them and everything,
Right,
and
right.
we out of here and on to the next project.
Yep, yep, yep,
You
yep.
know,
Yeah.
so yeah, man, it's going to be interesting to see how sports betting affects the game in the next like 2 or 3 years, because you know some conspiracy theories are coming. They are
Yeah.
coming,
Yeah.
coming,
Yep.
coming,
Yep.
and you're going to have the players we already had just for that little bit of time that it was open. We already had players getting in trouble for gambling on sports.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, now we talk about insider trading. You know, that's why I like to equate sports betting to the investments, because it's so similar. Like, these players, they don't always just go up. You know, they go up and down, up and
Right.
down, up and
Right.
down, just like a stock does.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and the player could have a career-threatening injury. It takes that stock out. It takes that player out, just like a company could have a career threaten injury that not injury, but do something that
Right.
injures
Right.
their reputation
Right.
and takes them out. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
so the only difference is the instant gratification
Right.
from the betting, as opposed to the investments, like investing in companies. But then again, you do have day trading. You
Yeah.
know, you do day trading, and you can invest in stuff like Bitcoin. It's super volatile,
Very
and
volatile.
you get that. You know what I'm saying? And you get that instant gratification that way.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I always equate them to the same. I say this, that they're the same thing. You know, it's all about what you're doing when you're sports betting, is you're predicting the future.
Right.
And that's the
Right.
same thing you're doing when you're invested in a company. You're saying, I'm going to invest in Google because 20 years from now, Google going to be the #1 search engine.
Right.
And they're going to be all kind of stuff.
Right.
You know, you're predicting the future. Now, you don't know it's going to really happen, but you think it is.
We do this thing every week. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you next week.
Holla.